Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be diving into one of Vulnhub machines, which is Hacksudo Aliens. This is beginner level machine. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's jump in and start hacking away through this machine. I've already imported the machine into the VirtualBox, so then we can head over to Linux. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be net discover. Let me hit enter. And as you can see, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 173. And if you wonder what the other two addresses are, please let me know in the comment box. I'd like to reply to you. Okay? And what are we going to do next? We need to conduct port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already done that before, so now we can get out its result. As you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the default script scan, virtual scan, and then followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Although the IP address of the target machine has been changed, since I already re-imported the machine into the VirtualBox, but this doesn't matter. From the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has 1, 2, 3 open ports. The first one is 22, which is running SSH surface or secure shell surface, and also the version information open SSH, and even its corresponding and exact version number. But I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability or exploit for this particular version of OpenSSH. And the second one is 80, which is running HTTP surface and also the version information Apache 2. And the last one is also running HTTP surface and Apache 2. And its port number is 9000. And also from the title, we can tell that this port number is running PHPMyadmin. You know, this is a very popular web application which can help us manage databases. Okay, so now what shall we do next? We need to enter enumeration both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to do the manual enumeration first against this port number. Let's fire up the browser and put the IP address of the target into the address bar and put the IP address here. Okay, you know, some like a city, state, country, ship, duration. You know, I can understand what they are for. Okay, but this doesn't matter. We can scroll down to see whether we can find something special or interesting. I think this table is huge. Oh, maybe I can use this to drag and drop to the bottom. So nothing here. And also we can check its source code, but nothing special or interesting we can find from the source code. And next we can check whether robots file is available and not found. So next we can launch Nicto to do the automatic enumeration. And Nicto, you know, the version of Nicto and the banner or the version information of web server, and also like options allowed HTTP methods like get, post options. Of course, if the target allows dangerous method like put, and then we can utilize such dangerous method for our purpose to upload web shell to the target. And also find the backup. Of course, we can have a look at this directory. Backup. Oh, sorry, I misspell this word, backup. Press enter. So there is one backup file of MySQL database. So we can click and download this file to Linux. And I think I'd like to move from downloads directory to the current working directory. And then let's have a look at this file. And we find the database credentials. So I think we can copy and paste over here. Before we go further, I'd like to check whether, we can use these credentials to SSH to the target, okay? Because sometimes username and password are reused in different places. So we can SSH and we can copy the username and specify the IP address of the target. Yes, of course. And we can copy the password, Hacksudo. Paste in here. But permission denied. So it doesn't work. So I think for now, we just put these credentials information to one side. Later we can, we need to find a place to use these credentials, right? So also just now, Nikto found the images directory. And so, they just surprised. Maybe we cannot. If you want, you can download this picture to the Linux and then utilize some utility to find whether, to see whether this image contains hidden message. But I do not want to waste your time. And we cannot find anything from the hidden message from this image. Okay, so let's go ahead. And next, I think we can use the gobuster to do the directory enumeration. And we can use W option to specify the word list. And I always use this word list, although as I mentioned over and over, sometimes we need to, use a different word list, okay? And now also found this backup directory game. Maybe we can take a look at this game. Press fire, but I don't think it's actual gaming, okay? And so in the meantime, we can manually enumerate the second port number, which is also running web service, so 9,000. And we can try to log in to the PHPMyadmin application with credentials we got earlier. So we can copy, copy and paste. Way is the safer way. So I will not make mistake of misspelling, okay? So we can copy and go. It works. So I think this is a fantastic step. So what can we do? So far, I think we have really got access to PHPMyadmin. This application can, manage the database with this GUI, okay? For example, we can go to the Hacksudo database, but now I think this database doesn't contain any table. In other words, we cannot get anything from this database, okay? So next, I'd like to see whether we can upload web shell through this PHPMyadmin. But before we try that, we need to see whether we have permission, okay? And I'd like to use this way, select, and, select variables. We can use the variables and percent, secure, file, play. Okay, I use finding search. Let me hit go, and then, but there is something wrong. Maybe I need to, or select variables. Select variables. So what's wrong? Show select. Oh, sorry, not select. I think we need to use show. This is my bad. Now we can hit go again. So now we got the variable name, secure file priv. This short for privilege. But the value is now. So it means that we do not have any limitation to upload the file. This is great. So we can upload the web shell, and we can write a very simple shell, like we can vim shell php, and we can, maybe we do not need to have any web page. We just want to upload to the PHP code itself. So we can use PHP, just a one-liner, and system get cmd. Okay, so I think we can write and quit, and then we can get this code. So then we can copy these 3 lines of code. Now we can execute SQL statement again, but this time we need to use select. We can get help from the PHPMyadmin. Select, and this we can put the single quotes, and we can put our one-liner of PHP web shell. Okay, we can paste over here, but these few lines cross different lines. Maybe I can make some small changes. And here, because outside we are using single quotes, so inside we need to use double quotes. Okay, so the warning or error is gone, and we can select this one into out file, and we can write this file to root directory of web. Okay, so var HTML. You can use any name like PHP. Okay, so now we can hit go, no error. So now I think we can, of course, we can set up the listener on the Linux waiting for collection from the target. And now we can access the uploaded web shell by the browser shell PHP. We need to pass parameter. The parameter name is cmd, and we can run like id. The id command has been executed as we expected. So next we need to get the shell on the target, and I'd like to take the easiest command. we can use the netcat. Netcat is available on the target, so we can use netcat. I want to get the bash session and IP address of the canonics followed by the port number. Let's press enter. I think it's working. Great. As you can see, we successfully got a collection from the target. And we can check Python. Python 2 is there. So we can utilize Python to spawn beta shell. Okay. pty module, pty spawn method, bin bash. Now we need to do some kinds of local enumeration on the target. Okay, because we want to make lateral movement or privilege escalation. And so there is one normal user Hacksudo, permission denied. And also we can try to use, we can use passwords, which is the same as username Hacksudo. This doesn't work. So next we need to go to apt PHPMyadmin. So I think maybe also we can define the term variable, xterm color. We can clear the screen. Next, I'd like to upload the linpeas shell script to do the automatic enumeration. Okay, I've already got this script ready. I think yes, it's here. So now, and also I think the web server is, maybe I can. So in order to upload this file or this script to the target, there will be different ways. And I think the most convenient way is to set up a web server on the canonics by Python 2 to be more specific. Then we can use wget to upload. And so linpeas. And we need to make it executable. And then we can run it. This script will try to gather information as much as possible from so many different aspects, such as the username information, the binaries with SUID bit, the binaries with capabilities. I think we have already found very interesting output because this line is highlighted in red and yellow color. Okay, so let's scroll up. And so this date command has SUID bit on. Then we can utilize this command. This command itself we can, can set or also can retrieve the date, okay, of the machine. But this is not what we want. We want to utilize this command to make a privilege escalation, okay? So now we can, go to this website, CTF opens, and here give us the instructions how to utilize date command. And of course, there will be different scenarios, but in this case, we are exploiting SUID bit of this binary, and we can, and this variable is the file to read or retrieve. Here, I'd like to retrieve a shadow file. Okay, at this moment, as you know, shadow file is only accessible by, the privileged user. Okay, so now we can, L file, etec shadow. Okay, and then we can use date and we can copy. Okay, it's done. And we can successfully retrieve content of this shadow file. And we can get this line and this line contains the username, but to be more important is its encrypted password, and we can save this username and password to hashes, and then we can use John the Ripper to crack it, because I've already done that before. So we can use the option of show to get cached password. Okay, so this is the password. So then I think now we can use SSH to connect to the target, and such a shell would be more stable, okay, in comparison to this one. Okay, and now we can SSH and Hacksudo. Press enter. Oh, sorry. This should be H. SS command itself will display the active ports on this machine. Okay, press enter. And we can use this cracked password by John Ripper to log in. And we are successful. So far, we have already made successful lateral movement. So what are we going to do next? We need to, escalate our privilege, okay? And we need to make, furthermore, information gathering. Even, this file, bash history file, contains the CPU limit. Maybe we can utilize this to elevate privilege, but I'd like to use the linpeas shell script again, but this time we need to, we can use wget. We need to upload it again, because this time we are different user, linpeas. And we need to make it executable, and then we can run it. I think we can notice the vectors. Just now, I think we have already found that vector, but yes, CPU limit, and this file is under downloads. So I think later we can navigate to this directory, go to downloads directory, and yes, this CPU limit binary has SUID bit, so we can run. However, how to elevate? Again, we need to use this website. Let me go back, CPU limit and SUID bit. So we can copy this part and paste over here. Okay, we are successful. And we can grab the user flag, not user flag, the final flag or root flag without any problem. Again, I'd like to remind you, actually, this machine, there is another binary of CPU limit. So for example, if you use the which and CPU limit, as you know, this is the default CPU limit, and I think its permission configuration is proper. We cannot utilize or exploit this utility or this CPU limit to elevate privilege. Instead, we need to use another or second CPU limit utility, which is located under the home directory of this user. Okay, so I think that's all. To quickly recap, in this video, with this machine, we have already exploited PHPMyadmin to upload the web shell to the target machine. And then, by the automatic script, we find the vector which can allow us to, find the binary, and we can use this binary to retrieve the shadow file. And then we use John Reaper to crack it. And finally, we can use one vulnerable binaries to elevate privilege. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please. Thank you.